Welcome to the Headley Highlight Show's Headley Headspaces. The Headspaces are a series of thoughts and musings I have during the course of the week, and I chew all over them and I share them with you. And this particular Headspace is called That London Summit on the 19th of May, the Brexit Reset Summit. Is it really a Brexit Rollback Summit? So before I chew all over that, I'd just like to say thank you to all of my new subscribers who have been subscribing on my YouTube channel. Yes, I now have hit 1,225 subscribers. That was my goal last week. I wanted to get to 2,200 by the end of that week. So now I'm going to aim for 2,300, hopefully by the end of this week. So if you haven't joined the community, jump all over to my YouTube channel, which is Headley.com, and you can also make a donation to me at my website at the same name, which is also Headley.com, where I am partial to free wings and chips and the Miranda, or you can buy me a kebab, fish and chips, rice and peas, a shawarma, all donated from your purse to my stomach via a donation from my website. Anyway, I've done all that preamble now. Oh yes, you can also follow, like and share on YouTube, X, and also on TikTok. So let's jump all over this again. That London summit on the 19th of May, the Brexit Reset, is it actually a Brexit rollback? So for those of you who have not really been overly, interested, and why would you be, in what's happening in Europe, but anyway, hey ho. But if you have missed what's happening, on Monday there is a summit in London which Keir Starmer will be hosting with the view to signing a Brexit reset. And what he has pledged to do is to make relations better with Brussels. The two key outcomes of the Brexit reset is to reset relations and also a joint declaration on global issues so that they can agree common ground around the Ukraine, for example, global trading systems, that'll be SWIFT, and also to access a proportion of a special amount of money, a rearming fund to the tune of £150 billion, the European Defence Fund. Now, some of the sticking points that are not yet resolved in relation to this reset relationship are questions of fishing access and also the ongoing carbuncle sore called Gibraltar. Not that Gibraltar is a carbuncle, but the issue is what was referred to as a life sore. It hasn't gone away since 31, when Britain got the territory back from, I think it's the Spanish. As well as the scheme to allow the movement of students. These are the major sticking points that appear to be stalling the reset with our dearly departed European colleagues. Because let's face it, we departed the institution, we Brexited. But given that list of integration I just detailed, it wouldn't appear that the Brexit, the exit, is being honoured to a degree. And it's my contention that the London summit on the 19th of May for the Brexit reset is effectively a Brexit rollback. So I'm not here to rehearse the arguments for and against Brexit. We are here now, and that's the situation that we're in. But where I am expressing my concern is that what Mr. Keir Starmer is doing and what's going to happen on the 19th of May is that the Brexit that most people think is taking place is not actually taking place. No, we're not going back into the single market. No, there's not going to be freedom of access. We're not going to be also in the customs union. However, we will be making a contribution to defence spending in Europe if we want to access that £150 billion worth of defence spending pot that Ursula von der Leyen is making available, so Europe can, instead of spending time building businesses that manufacture goods that people want, we can spend time building bombs so we can at a later date go and kill somebody else's children. Because that's the focus of Europe now. They need to rearm so that they can fight the Red Army. That's the whole point. And it's my contention that we are not part of the European Union. Therefore, why are we engaging in a reset? It's either we have the situation we have and we need to work with that situation, but we can't just go around cherry picking the bits that we want to take out of the relationship and the bits that we don't want because it's politically sensitive. One of the issues is the question of fishing. And many of the coastal countries who are saying that they don't want to be exited and Brexited in June 2026, namely France and Denmark, they want to be able to have access to those fishing waters after that period, which is when it's supposed to end. However, Britain has offered them 4 years and they're saying we're not going to advance this deal with you unless you give us more than 4 years. So what was the point of negotiating the fishing quotas? It went down to 25%. What's the point of having a quota which you then later on extend or enlarge for infinitum? What was the point of Brexit? And another thing which is not being discussed with you, which I also think is a cliff edge, is this question around energy and our participation in an energy marketplace, which is going to end in June 2026. And what the outcome of that will mean is we will potentially be facing blackouts and higher prices if no interim measures are put in place. And this is a lever that the European Union is using to negotiate for those fishing rights, for us now redeploying defence spending into the European Union's defence spending budget. So when we exited, we were part of an internal energy market called the IEM. The arrangements allow efficient electricity trading across interconnectors, undersea cables that link the UK to European grids, under market coupling mechanisms. That deal expires, as I said, in June 2026. And we will then have to rely on likely less efficient cross-border electricity trading, which is higher costs and is also unstable, and potential supply disruptions. And the European Union know this, and they're using that as a way of squeezing us over the questions of fishing because we are facing a cliff edge in 2026. These are some of the alleged Brexit dividends, and this is the reason why Mr. Starmer wants the reset. But the problem is you can't have a reset with a partner where you're previously been divorced from. And that's the sticking point. And what I found interesting is that any commentary about this summit was, there was minimal commentary. I saw that just one article in The Guardian, but it didn't ask the right questions in relation to reintegration. It was about we need to smooth out relations with Brussels. Well, I think this is Mr. Keir Starmer trying to negotiate a Norway-like agreement by the back door. I think it's also an indication that Europe doesn't have any fresh ideas and is led by a cabal. Why does the whole of Europe need to rearm? They need jobs, quality pensions, good education, roads, and an effective health system for all Europeans. But instead, we're building and investing in, and don't forget what Ursula von der Leyen says, she wants that money to go to European defence contracts. We're investing in the industrial war machine once again. And don't forget, we have to pay twice to access those European funds for defence spending. You got to pay to bid and be in the room, and then you got to win the contract. And you also have to put more of your defence spending into the pot when we have already increased our defence spending in line with requirements from Mr. Trump. I think it's gone up to about 4 or 5% of GDP. I'm happy to be corrected on that one. So what's your thoughts on this issue? Do you think that Keir Starmer is effectively using the back door to take us back into the European Union? Do you think he's using the spectre of the bogeyman, the media construct? You need to hate this person, and therefore we need to mobilize our economy to crush the pending threat, which is not there, but we keep telling you it's on its way. What's your thoughts about it? Have you even heard anything about the summit? Give me your thoughts, your 2 pence, your 3 cities, or your declining dollar price. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for your listening here, and cut! Don't forget to donate. Bye!